Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 198 of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, we talk about video game and movie news as well as we watched or played over the week. My name is Barry, along with my fellow Oscar-nominated co-hosts.
My name is Craigenheimer.
My name is Barben Craig.
He did it.
I guess.
That wasn't too bad. I like both of them.
Anyway,
But you know what everyone likes? The news.
it's true.
The news is always
true.
also Oscar-worthy in this podcast.
Okay,
And we've got both ends of the spectrum here in video game and in movies. So on my end, we have Multiverses is relaunching in May. The Smash Bros. Sort of fighter style game that's using Warner Brother Discovery characters. There we go. Is going to be relaunching. So they're bringing up the servers with new updates, stuff like that. Just happy to see the game isn't fully dead and it's going to be coming back. I am happy for that. None of us played that game though, right?
No, I heard a lot of good things though.
No, yeah, I hear it is
same.
good.
Yeah.
That was a couple years ago it shut down, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
Dragon Dogma's 2 character creator is out, and it's one of the most extensive ones. People are making literal Baldur's Gate 3 characters in the game, and they're also creating huge monstrosities. So you can make everybody hot, or you can make everybody ugly. Which do you prefer is the question.
Ugly.
There's no middle ground. There's no middle ground.
I think the real question though is, I've heard lots of good things, initial reactions to this game. Does anybody have time for this game right now? There's so many RPGs out there.
Anybody on this podcast? Definitely not. There's probably somebody out there that beat Baldur's Gate 3 before me and is looking for the next or the closest replacement
And this is
that would be able to satisfy that itch. That's what this is. It does look good.
Baldur's Gate, Infinite Wealth, Final Fantasy, Dragon's Dogma 2. That's way too many RPGs.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to attempt Dragon's Dogma. I'm going to let it go. Maybe later.
Yeah. I hope to try it later. I hear the first one was good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to need you guys to pull me out of this next news segment.
Okay.
Overwatch 2 announces a Cowboy Bebop collab.
You don't need it.
You're right, but it looks
that game
so
sucks.
good.
But there's no but.
It looked good, though.
But that game's so bad.
It's Overwatch. Overwatch isn't bad. The idea of 2, I suppose you could maybe say that. But
yes,
I just looked at it, and it's like the same thing with like the Final Fantasy event that was in Apex. It's like, give me a reason to not try this out again. Not that I need to. I don't need to spend my money on skins. You guys are right, but
I think Craig is the best person for this because in terms of willpower and succumbing to things like this wouldn't be my cup of tea, but you guys have seen me do that to other things a lot. So
true.
I think, Craig, this is on you, my guy.
I mean, in all honesty, I spent money on the Final Fantasy Apex thing. So do what makes you happy. It's just I still play Apex. When's the last time you played Overwatch?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's been a while. Been a long time.
And are you going to buy these and play it for a week and then not play it ever again?
Of course he is. That's the
Overwatch,
point.
though, like when it first came out, I was in that game. I was in
You were.
It. That was for
You
sure.
were.
But
how much have you played of the second one?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I played a little bit of it. My skins carried over at least. So at least I didn't look like a fool.
Yeah.
Speaking of fools,
didn't look like a fool.
Nintendo sues Yuzu for $2.4 million and it gets approved. Nintendo has been on a tear getting people sued for emulators, and Yuzu is a popular Switch emulator and also is good at bricking Switches as well. So just keep, you won't be able to use that anymore. Keep an eye out if you've got a Switch with Yuzu on it. It may stop working, or maybe just never hook it up to the internet.
Fair.
Just see what
happens. Just don't connect it. It's all good.
But $2.4 million, man, just lots of money.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, but how much money did they make?
That's true.
Do they charge for the emulator? I'm assuming.
Yeah, they would.
Okay. So they had to have made probably at least that.
Some money, at least.
Yeah.
We then have the Xbox Partner Showcase, which was kind of a strange showcase in general, but some
Yep.
cool things were announced.
Mhm.
We have the expansion pass for Persona 3 Reloaded coming out. I'm very happy about that. Final Fantasy
Yeah.
14 is coming out March 21st on Xbox.
Mhm.
Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy. These are trilogy games of Stalker before Heart of Chernobyl, which the fourth one is coming out in September or October, if I believe correctly. We have
Mhm.
that one interesting game, Altered, where
Yeah.
you're that one was the one that looked very intriguing to me, or the most intriguing, other than like that's not an expansion pass because I'm excited for P3, our expansion pass. And then finally, last bit of gaming news and final piece for me is EA College Sports 25 has announced that they have over 10,000 willing participants,
Yeah,
uh,
buddy.
which is great. It's They're going to exceed the goal that they had met. One notable
I
omission
was waiting for you're going to bring him up.
is Archie Manning. Archie
Yeah.
Manning has decided to not, which makes sense considering his family name holds more than what y- more than what they would give him in the NIL, like the free copy and what the grand or $600 that they're supposed to
Yeah.
get. So it makes sense for
Yeah.
Archie Manning. He's probably the only college player that this pertains to. I'd have to say.
Do you know how
Uh,
they said that like the players who opt out, you wouldn't be able to create them in game, right?
Hmm.
So do you think they just like block out using that name?
Well, to be fair, he's a third string
well,
quarterback.
Right.
So
But I mean, like, could I go into
yeah,
create a
but
player and make Archie Manning,
so
or are they
apparent
going to block it?
apparently they're gonna block it. Apparently you won't
Okay,
be able to
so I
do that.
change like a spelling
Yeah.
and it goes
yeah,
through.
that
Because
yeah,
that
that's what
third
I was.
string quarterback will probably be in there, which is where
Yeah, oh,
he
yeah,
is in the Texas chart, I believe, or quarterback chart. So it would be something where it'll show like an overall and then some stats. Whether they
right.
pertain to him or not is beyond our concern, or we wouldn't have any way of knowing. But you would assume that that is Archie Manning for whatever name they give him, whether it's Bob
It
Allen.
it probably won't have a name, right? It'll
Yeah,
probably just have a number like it used to.
Maybe.
yeah, yeah. That's what they'll probably do is like just have the number, then like make an alternate
Yeah.
name.
So like everybody's just if you're interested, or if you're like a fan of Archie Manning, you just go to create a player and make Archie Manning spelled with an E instead of an A or something, and then just put him in there,
Yes,
and then there you go. Yeah.
Smartsy
Yep.
Cranning,
I mean, that's what I would do.
Fartsy
Yeah.
Danning, or whatever. Yes.
But that's all I have for news. I'll let you guys jump into it next.
Oh my God, Barry, you didn't even bring up one I was for sure you were going to bring up.
Was it the one I'm thinking of too, Craig? Yesterday.
I'm thinking about a
Well,
very in I would say a famous death, but Barry, you should know that as well.
Yeah,
No? Yeah, Akira
yeah,
Toriyama.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't take all
Creator
the
of
news
Dragon Ball.
stories. I got to let you
That's
guys have
fair.
some.
that's true. That's
He
true.
was,
That's true.
in
You
all
got
honesty, he was a lot younger than I thought. 68.
It's
Um,
crazy.
I, I just assumed he
yeah.
was like old because Dragon Ball I feel like it's been around forever. But what was it? The 80s,
Yeah.
early 90s,
Yeah.
80s.
I think it was. I mean, obviously, we Craig and I know it's the '90s because we were
Right.
watching that like as kids. But I don't know if it's like if it dips into the
It
'80s, but
does.
that'd be a very interesting thing
Does
to
it?
look up.
Yep.
It
Okay.
does. Okay,
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
guys are
was
thinking
wondering.
of Z. He also worked on Dragon Ball, which was 80s.
that's true. That's
Okay.
true.
But yeah, that's sad. I always enjoyed watching him do like interviews, and he would like draw like Goku while he was interviewing, and it was just like the most simple, like, yeah, whatever, and he would just draw it out real quick, and it was so effortless for him. And he really came up with his own style, honestly. Like before that time, was there ever characters drawn that way for anime? Really? Not that I can.
This would be Barry. This would be a Barry
It,
question, and he's
Yeah.
emphatically shaking
it's
his head
not so
no.
much like I emphatically shake my head no because it is his own style there.
Right.
Um,
Mm,
Earlier anime didn't really have the I guess definition of what the characters like he has have.
Yeah.
So he kind of adapted that and made it his own.
Yeah. But for like Craig and I, like that was our childhood, like I can specifically remember watching it before I went to school and then watching it when I got home from school. Like that was just
Mhm.
like my routine. I would eat cereal before, right before the bus came, and I would have Dragon Ball Z on, and then I'd get off the bus and immediately put Dragon Ball Z back on, and that was like an
Yeah.
everyday thing. So it was a big part.
Yeah, I remember there's not a lot of anime shows at that time when we were younger that replaced an antagonist with an even more menacing
Mhm.
antagonist. You know what I mean? So like you had Frieza, you had that whole saga going, then you had Cell, and then all of it like the one that I remember like actually watching a lot was the Majin
Mhm.
Buu and his various forms. So like there was a lot of stuff that like you weren't getting from other shows, and I don't know, it made a
Yeah.
mark clearly. I mean Dragon Ball Z like that it's like historically like revered,
Yeah.
so
It's literally the first thing that I can remember that really motivated me to want to draw stuff was Dragon Ball Z, because I was like, man, look how cool these characters look. And then trying for hours to get the hair right because the hair was just
yeah.
insane. Um, yep.
Also, oh my god, anti-heroes, Vegeta,
Oh,
Piccolo,
yep.
like come
Yep.
on. Like you can't beat a better anti-hero than like some of those guys, and like I don't know. It's fantastic, and it's a real big loss
Hmm.
to a lot of people,
Yeah.
but
I don't want to call him like, in my mind, because that's what I watched first. I would be like,
He
oh, he's the grandfather of anime, but I don't know that he is.
so here's what I can say. Like he is the one that made anime popular in the West.
Hmm.
There is I can't under like there's no statement that I could say that could understate what he did for anime.
Yeah.
Because like for me, like I grew up with it as well. Like I would go home and watch. It was for me Toonami that had
Hmm.
Dragon Ball Z on, and I remember the whole Frieza Cell Majin Buu saga, and then it's funny for me, like it was at the peak of a point where I'd be on the playground at recess and I'd write fanfic of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I was one of those
Nice.
guys.
Nice.
uh no one will ever find that fanfic. It was before the internet got really popular, so
no.
none of you will ever figure it out. I do
Mhm.
remember the title, but I'm not going
uh,
to embarrass myself here, so not going to bother.
you can't
Yeah, I
do
can,
that to us,
absolutely
Barry. Come
can.
on. Yes, I can.
Oh my god. Yeah,
So
just so many
yeah.
good memories from those shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is probably one of the biggest parts of like anime being in my life and also in everybody else's. You saw the outpouring of support when it came to other people, like whether it's animators supporting him. Uh,
Yeah.
you even had the Mexican cartel calling off gang wars for a day,
Yeah.
and who else do you know or any? I don't think any famous person that could have died and they would call that stuff off.
Mhm.
I would be hard pressed and to think of anybody who could pull that off. And that's just the significance he had to
Yeah.
so many cultures. But
Yeah.
if and I know there were other anime before Dragon Ball Z that came to the United States, but that is what put it on the map.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can't remember really seeing anything else before that. I mean, MTV had Aeon Flux
Oh
at one
yeah, I
point.
remember.
I
And
remember
yep.
that. But other, like nothing as mainstream as Dragon Ball Z, and all that. That was a time.
Yeah, it was
It
yeah,
was a
Dragon
time.
Ball Z, Roni Kenshin, Outlaw Star, Cowboy
Yep.
Bebop, all that fun stuff. Man,
Yep.
Outlaw Star, that brings me back.
um, On to, I'm not going to say happier notes, but I'll say something else to focus our anger on, I guess. Let's go back to EA, because EA, it's easy to hate on them, but they're going to start using generative AI for greater workflow efficiency and monetization growth. Love that.
Robots are making games now, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one headline you read and you say, of course it's EA. Of course. Who else would do it? As you can imagine, there's lots of pushback from people in the gaming industry, and rightfully so. I can't imagine, like, do you think they announce like what the first game is that's using it, or do
No,
they just not say
no, they
anything?
don't say anything.
No,
Yeah,
they just no.
they're like, hey, this game was made
Not a word.
entirely by AI in 2 weeks. Would you play it?
I wouldn't say it
If I,
wouldn't like not pique my curiosity in a way, but
Sure.
it doesn't it doesn't help that it shells out probably people's jobs, which isn't what.
For sure.
for sure, yeah. And they did have like what percentage of the workforce did they recently release?
EA?
Was it like yeah?
A decent amount, I think.
Wasn't it like 5% of their workforce? I think they got rid of or
I mean, if
whatever.
this goes through,
So
they're going to get rid of more. You know they will.
that yeah,
They'll be like, oh, we don't need, this section of 200 people. AI just replaced all of them and does their work in a quarter of the time.
Going back to what Barry was to Barry's answer to your question, Craig, I feel like this is why sometimes I think it's hilarious how we think as gamers is if I knew what game it was, I would probably play it because of the interest level, but I think I would hate myself
Yeah.
doing it. But I would have to see what was
Yeah.
produced.
I'm trying to think of like what would be a big EA game if they came out and they were like the next Star Wars Jedi Survivor was made with 75% AI.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're not doing Cal
Yeah.
justice there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the things that's already like in kind of the gaming and like anime community, just to tie it all together, is like the use of AI subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's not so much a need for people to like live subtitle something when you could have AI put in a script, have AI translate it. The issue there is that some things don't transfer over well, and that's why we have issues where like the late
All your base are belong
yeah,
to
so
us.
Yeah.
well,
Stuff
yeah,
like
and
that.
it's stuff with like the most recent thing that I can remember is like the biggest show right now, Jujutsu Kaisen. During one of the big fights, he, the dude's ultimate move is called Malevolent Shrine, and the what it picked up, we don't know if it's AI. It probably was because how do you mix shrine with kitchen? So in the subtitles, it says Malevolent Kitchen. And that started a whole meme of like Gordon Ramsay as the evil character. It was pretty funny in a small, anime world meme. But it's that kind of thing where I wouldn't be surprised if Japanese like game makers who already have their game in Japanese are using AI to maybe bring up the subtitles in English when I'm playing Atelier Ryza,
Yeah.
a game that does not have English voice acting, maybe using AI for the subtitles.
Yeah. True. Another one that I thought was very interesting, Sea of Thieves is the #1 most pre-ordered game on PlayStation 5 right now. Go figure.
Not Stellar Blade. What a sad day.
I don't know. It just kind of like
And it-
threw me off because, I mean, we all heard the announcement is going to go over there, but I think in my mind, I was like, who's going to care? Apparently, a lot of people.
In a surprise announcement. No, I'm just playing. I didn't pre-order it.
I only played it for like an hour.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's fun. I should probably try it again, I guess, at some point in
There's
my
probably
life.
a lot of, stuff
Yeah.
that changed.
And the last thing before I'll throw it over to you, Craig, and then I have my weekly question thing for you guys. We had the Oscars, so figured I'd
Yes.
run down like the major winners. Take a peek at them. Best Picture. Is there a surprise there? Oppenheimer won. Not that I'm happy with it, but sure. Are you guys happy with it? Are you fine with it?
It is a spectacle of a movie,
It is.
but the people who does and I saw this on Barstool. It's a bunch of old men deciding what wins, and while it is a marvel of a movie, it is a long and can be very boring movie. Absolutely, can be very boring.
Yeah.
I struggled because I love Christopher Nolan, but I am a Scorsese guy. So I almost, without any type of reason, want him to win everything that he could possibly win. But it's really nice to see. I think isn't that Nolan's first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I was actively rooting against Scorsese because he said if his movie didn't win any awards, he was going to make the worst movie anyone's ever seen, and it didn't win any awards. So now I'm excited to see what kind of movie he makes.
Okay.
Tied into that, Best Actor went to Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. Best Actress went to Emma Stone for Poor Things. I'll get into that later because I did watch that this week.
Okay.
Best Supporting Actor, Robert Downey Jr. got his first Oscar, also for Oppenheimer. So, congrats to him for finally getting one. Best Supporting Actress was, is it Divine or Devine Joy Randolph? Divine?
Yes.
For The Holdovers. That is also a good movie if you haven't seen that. Best Director, Christopher Nolan. Best Adapted Screenplay was American Fiction. I was super pumped about that because I love American Fiction. I thought that movie was great. But those are the major ones. Anything jump out at you guys?
The only other one that I will say too is Best Animated went to The Boy and the Heron, and that made me upset. Yeah,
it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I'm also going to shout out one as well. Best Original Song goes to What I Was Made For, completing 2 of Billie Eilish's EGOT.
I don't know how you don't give it to Ryan Gosling after his performance, though.
That was a great performance. But that was...
Yeah. Listen.
Give it to John Cena. You saw that little bit with John Cena.
That was interesting.
That man deserved something. Let me tell you. But yeah, that's the major things I had.
All right, I had I'm glad you brought up the Oscars because I wanted to talk about that. But other than that, I had Mario Day was yesterday, March 10th. So I mean, as expected, and what we talked about last podcast, and maybe even the podcast before it, is this is going to be a mellow year for Nintendo because we're getting those rumblings and potential Switch 2, as everybody's calling it right now, next year. I'm really interested to see what the name is going to be for that. But anyway, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door release date May 23rd. Luigi Mansions 2 HD June 27th. Lego Super Mario Kart made me think of you there, Craig.
We'll see.
And then 3 games for Nintendo Switch online announcements: Dr. Mario, Mario Golf, and Mario Tennis. And then, as if anybody was not thinking this was going to happen, but a Super Mario Brothers movie sequel. So it wasn't a huge day in terms of like new games. I mean, if you're people like me, I wanted a date for Thousand Year Door. I have no problem picking up Luigi's Mansion 2 at some point, HD, probably like down the road. But again, not a huge day for Mario Day specifically, but those are the key things to look out for. I didn't miss anything, did I, Nintendo Barry?
This was released a little bit beforehand, but they did release a demo for Princess Peach Showtime.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the Showtime.
I really don't play the demos anymore.
I would play that one because of how little information they released earlier about it. I was like, what is she?
I guess she's the main
character.
Sweet.
Oh, cool. We should kick off games with Barry talking about that.
That's fair.
Look, here's what I'm gonna tell you guys. With gaming this week, and good intro to gaming. I'm very proud of that one transition. I didn't play a lot of games. I watched movies. And wait. Oh wait, no, that's right. I forgot. I'm sorry, Craig. This is my fault.
I mean, it's fine. I was going to put it in after the games if you want.
No, we can do it now. We always squeeze in the TikTok segment of the week, brought to you by TikTok.
Let's do.
Here we go. Here's what we got this week. I have in my possession on my phone 20 theme songs from games. I thought it would be a good time to play a couple seconds of them and see which of you can give me the correct answer first.
Yes, sir.
Let's see who has the bigger gaming brain, if you will. Who has the most wrinkles in their gaming brain?
Ooh. My money's on Barry, but...
So I will play a couple seconds. Now, I will leave this up to you guys. If you want to shout it out when you know it while it's playing, or do you want to listen for like 5 to 10 seconds, then I'll stop it. And then you can both answer and you could both have potential to score points. It's up to you guys. How do you want to do it?
I don't know, Barry. I wish we had buzzers.
All right, why don't we do this? I will play a clip. I'll play it, then I'll stop it. and then you can both give me your answer. That way, you both have a chance.
Okay.
Okay, is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
here we go. First one. So you don't have to be like, oh my god, I gotta get. The
I'm
answer.
sorry. I was gonna do something. I was gonna do something funny. I was gonna do something funny if we kept
Oh
the
no,
previous rules.
you're gonna like slam on the desk or something.
No, no. I wasn't gonna slam on the desk.
Okay.
I was.
All right, here we go. First one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start off easy.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. You guys got your answers?
Yeah.
All right. So on the count of 3, you both say it at the same time. That way you can't cheat off each other.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Final Fantasy VII battle theme. Yeah. We both had that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you both have one.
I just wanted to make it aware. No matter if we were just to yell it out, I was just going to say Simple and Clean Kingdom Hearts, just without even hearing a second.
Okay.
Well, like, can you just sneak that into like the 9th song?
I don't have that song in here.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that makes it better. That makes it better.
All right. You ready for your next one? Now you don't have to give me the title of the song. Obviously, just give me the game.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Barry knows it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Ooh. Okay, Barry.
It's
what do you got?
Yeah, it's Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
All right. So
3.
Hikari Hutada featuring Skrillex.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right. Here we go. Number 3. Here we go.
Oh, Persona 5.
All right, you both got it. He was so excited he threw it out.
No, I'm
that's
glad.
Fine.
I'm glad.
All right, Barry, you knew that one too.
Yeah.
Right? All right, so that's 3-2, Barry. All right,
I was gonna say, if we get into a tiebreaker scenario, we may have to start naming the games at the top, or naming the song.
If you want to do it that way, we can do it.
We'll have to see.
You want to
we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, let's just
all right, we'll
shout it
out.
as soon as
you get
it. Let's get that. Let's get that feeling, that energy.
My Sanctuary Kingdom Hearts 2.
No.
Okay, I tried. Yeah, this is.
Oh, that's a no from me, dog.
The ending. That. Is it another Final Fantasy?
No.
Okay.
Is that a no from both of you?
Yes.
Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Damn it. I should have known that one.
Harry, I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah, no, I deserve that one.
All right, get that one out of your system. Barry's still up 3-2. Here we go.
Okay, yeah, this is
Shout it out. Shout it out.
Oh, that's right. Pokemon. Yellow.
I'll give it both to you. 5-4. Right? 5-4? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're definitely throwing it out. All right, here we go.
Sorry.
I know this.
Is this theater rhythm?
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm trying to think of the game title because I know if I say
it sounds.
It is Mario. It's. I'm just trying to think
Mario,
which game.
though?
That's the issue.
You're halfway there.
Sunshine.
No. Barry.
Crap. Super Mario 3?
Mario Kart.
Dang it! I was gonna say Mario Kart.
That was Mario Kart on the Wii, to be specific.
Okay.
Coconut Mall.
Yep.
All right.
I remember hearing it from the.
Wow.
All right. Still 5-4, Barry. Here we go.
Yeah, because Coconut's in the remake. Oh, that's right. Super Smash Bros. Melee?
No.
Okay. So Wii U.
I don't have it.
It's Ultimate.
It's Ultimate. Is it Ultimate? Okay.
It's Ultimate.
Yep.
So
I'll still give it to you.
I was going to say, do I still get a point for that one?
6-4.
Yeah,
you're up 2.
So many. There's so many remixes on that song.
All right, here we go.
That's a clue.
Is it Spider-Man?
Barry,
That
you
sounds
want to
like
guess?
silent. Oh, go yeah. I already said one.
Yeah, I guess for the most part, I know it's a big game. Hans Zimmer. Is it Halo?
Modern Warfare 2.
Dang it.
The old Modern Warfare 2, to
Well,
be
yeah.
exact.
The
Not the
bet.
new Modern
Yeah.
Warfare 2. All right. It's okay. 6-4 Barry. Here we go.
I got nothing.
Take a guess.
Halo.
No.
Okay.
Dead Space.
Resident Evil 4.
Oh, thank you.
Close.
I was like that.
All right.
Ugh.
6-4 still.
Grr.
Next one.
He's like giggling over there.
Yeah, I am. You'll know why in a minute. Guesses?
That's not Hogwarts Legacy, is it?
It is not.
Okay.
Craig?
Uh, Silent Hill.
Dead Space.
That's why you're giggling. You got to be kidding me, man.
All right. 6-4. Here we go.
I got most of the ones I'm supposed to know.
Oh, wait.
I did not, if that helps.
Ah, crap. Yeah, I should know this one. That flute. I've heard that flute somewhere.
I love that you're both like, it's right there. It's right on the tip
I've
of your tongue.
heard this flute.
Oh,
Fairly recent game.
Yep.
oh no.
Oh, Baldur's Gate 3, is it?
It is not.
Okay. There's my guess.
Craig, would you like to guess?
I would. I don't have. It's nothing's.
Okay.
Nothing's. Nothing's coming.
Grand Blue Fantasy.
Relink? Or Versus? It's Relink, yeah.
Relink, yep.
I knew I heard that flute
Yep.
somewhere.
All right. Still 6-4.
This one slaps.
That's the whole thing.
Okay.
It's a short one. They started off easy and they get progressively harder. I
Yeah,
think.
they did. They did.
Mm-hmm. Guesses? What does it sound like to you?
Well, it sounds RPG. Like boss battle RPG.
I'll tell you, it's not an RPG.
Okay.
To help you out. I feel like if you guys want, I can give you one hint for each one. I'll give you the hint. It was made by Capcom.
Devil May Cry. No.
I was about to say that you said Devil May Cry, and I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
It is not Devil May Cry.
No, this is a stretch. Monster Hunter?
Street Fighter.
Okay, fighting game.
Yep. All right. We're falling off now. It's all good though. A little bit older game.
Hint, please.
Hint. Let's see. There's 3 games in this series and multiple failed attempts to make this a movie.
Okay. That's a good hint.
Mhm. Most games in this series have 3, though, to be fair.
Well, yeah, but it makes me think. It makes me think of like trilogies that could have been movies.
Yep.
Is usually my thinking here.
Sure.
This is a long shot.
Okay.
Is it Mass Effect?
It is not.
Okay.
That's a very
Good
good
guess, though.
I thought it
Good
was
guess.
spacey. Yeah, like if I wanted something more spacey for Mass Effect, but that's the only thing I could think of movie wise.
Got a guess?
The only game that's coming to my head, and it's annoying me because it's making it so I can't think of anything else. And there's even a TV show for this game, is The
It's
Witcher.
not The Witcher. It was BioShock.
Okay.
Oh, my wife's gonna kill me.
She is.
It's her favorite game.
It's one of mine, too. Like top 3, probably. Also 3 games in this series as well. Actually 4, technically.
Metroid.
He's going with Metroid. It's not Metroid. Close.
Okay.
Space.
Close. Is it Metroid?
Well, you said there's 4. Oh, is it Mass Effect?
Mass Effect.
Hey,
Yep.
yeah. He said the moment
Yeah.
you said technically 4, I went, oh, that's
Technically
right.
4.
Andromeda.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Andromeda. That's
Yeah.
right. Hell yeah.
7-4.
We all played that.
did.
We all played that
Oh my
one.
God.
Sucked. Oh, this is so up my alley.
This sounds like Bayonetta. It sounds like Bayonetta.
Got it.
Yeah.
Bayonetta.
Yeah.
That's,
Well
Yep.
done.
that's
7-5.
wow.
Well done. I knew you guys would
Wow.
get that one.
Bayonetta really has a
It does.
sound. You know.
It does. All right, 7-5.
Ooh.
Come on, don't let me down.
I was about to say I felt like I knew it until this part came in.
It's been 4 games in this series. Also, your wife will probably kill you, Craig, if you don't get this one.
Look at his eyes.
Sheer terror.
My wife would kill me if I didn't get this one, for sure.
Oh, you might have a dead guy come next podcast.
I don't have a wife, so I guess I'm
Don't
good.
let her listen to it. Barry, I don't know if you've played. I feel like you have played this series. You may not have, though.
The music itself sounds familiar,
Okay.
and that's where I'm losing it. But I don't have a guess.
Okay. Do you have a guess, Craig?
No.
It's The Sims.
Okay, yeah, yes.
Oh my
I wasn't
God.
supposed to know that one. That's yes.
Have you played The Sims, Barry?
I think I may have played one for like
Okay.
an hour at
Craig's
most.
gonna have to go sleep outside too.
Yeah, I got
I
a
am
spare bedroom if you
definitely-
need to sleep here.
Yeah, I might have to. I'll pack after the podcast.
Five main games in this series. I think there's more games though than 5.
Halo.
No.
Gears. No.
Yep.
Hey,
Is it Gears?
Good job. I knew
What?
it was. It, it had to be a
Yep.
war game. Had to be a
Yep.
war game. So.
Yep. Gears of War.
This Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah. we just nominated it. Was that 8-6?
Well done.
Yeah. Okay. They played us
Doom.
at the Doom. Yep.
Good call.
Oh my god, that was well done, Barry. Well
Let's.
done.
Good
So that's what,
call.
9-6. All right, I only have one more. So Barry, you won, but this is the last one. Here we go.
Crash Bandicoot.
Hey!
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
The walk off.
Go. Walk off Homer.
There was a little bit in the middle where we kind of got off track, but we're in there now. We're in there. Our
That was a nice final run there, Bear.
Yep.
My
Doom one's iconic.
Yeah, but my synapses were firing. I'm so glad I got that Crash Bandicoot before it was obvious. Like, at least for me.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
You know, when the beat dropped, Barry, when you were saying Bandicoot, like I was like, "That's Crash."
Yeah.
Like you were already like saying.
I have such a childhood with that game. As soon as I hear those like doo-doo-doo-doo at the beginning, I immediately like Crash Bandicoot. Well done, Barry. You take the win.
I felt good.
Done. Yeah,
I needed that.
Very decisive win.
I feel
That was
good.
a very decisive.
Copy
win.
strikes be damned. We might need a rematch on that.
Don't worry, I'll take care of the copyright. That's
all right.
Copyright.
Well done, everybody.
Hells yeah.
All right.
Games.
I try not to go like too obscure.
Games, let's go.
But games, let's get it. What do we got?
Princess Peach demo and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Okay. I have 22 hours into Final Fantasy 7, but I did also squeeze in some Tekken 8 and some WWE.
Okay. I have like 30 hours into Rebirth, 29, 30, whatever my PlayStation says. And then kind of random with some multiplayer games. My wife and I tried Foam Stars for about an hour.
Stars.
And then we took it back to Rogue Company with some friends. So
interesting. So let's go with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth just to get all of our opinions on it as we're a bit further into it. I'm pretty much firmly implanted to the game. I really am enjoying it. Really, the only couple things are like hiccups for me, where Cloud gets like stuck on something he could clearly just like take a step down from, with the terrain. So I definitely see like some of the negatives with this game. But like the game, they're right. Like most reviews are right. Like this game is like genuinely funny. Like this game, I actually laugh at. So, and that has to do with the writing and the characters and how true to form they are, to those characters. Aerith's this bubbly personality, and Cloud doesn't know how to handle himself to anyone really, whether it's women or men at this point. Barrett, and they're all, and I guess for the most part, you guys will be able to tell me, am I going to learn more about, this is how long I haven't played it for. Red 13. I keep mixing up Red 13 and Kate Sith. I keep mixing them up in my head. But do you learn more about him? I haven't seen a
whole lot so far.
Okay.
So, I mean, you definitely do in the game at some point.
Okay, so I should be getting that explanation. I already know he's like, and he mentions it in the beginning, that he is an experiment of Dr. Hojo, but he really isn't fleshed out that much at all in Crisis Core. There's no mention of him in Crisis Core, so it's one of those things where very mysterious, very mysterious.
Yeah, you haven't, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's like certain cutscenes that'll make you go, huh? Craig knows what I'm talking about. When like, there's certain things that you're probably going to make you even more confused with him. But I think they definitely flesh it out in the original game. I don't know if they'll do it in this game or the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm wondering, because like I'm trying not to spoil it for myself, so I haven't looked up the titles of chapters or how far this game actually is going into the game. But yeah, I'm in like chapter 7.
Okay. I think that's why I'm on 6 or 7. I'm on like the island area. Yeah.
So I'm when you're allowed to like freely roam. Yeah, so they haven't really gone insanely into his, but like there should be some type of information coming,
I can say that, like, so my PlayStation is like in the living room, so when I play at night, like usually my wife is like in the other room on like the laptop playing something. But as far as like funny, like she has laughed multiple times, which I think is hilarious. Like there's a point where Cloud's talking to Tifa and like Tifa's telling him a story and she's like, you don't really care about this story, do you? And he's literally says, no, not really. I was like, dude, like that. I love like how they made Cloud just the most like out of touch person when it comes to anybody except beside himself. Like to me, it's
Exactly.
hilarious.
Yeah. It is, and like they do that thing too, where like he's like traveling around with like Tifa and Aerith, and obviously Barret
Yeah,
and Red 13, and like during the game, he keeps having these instances where like women come up to him and are like, "Oh, like hey," and he's just like he's a tall blonde dude with a huge sword that just no matter what stays on his back, like you know what I mean, and he just can't talk to humans, like in
yep.
general, like you know,
That's how he was in the original game too. So I'm glad they kept
yeah,
it.
that
He has
is.
no
They,
personality.
and they kind of moved that person into 8 because that's who Squall is
Yep.
too. Squall's the same
Yep.
dude.
Yeah, he
Like it's
really
really
is.
funny.
I'm still waiting for the point where, because I mean, if we're being completely honest, this game is open area, do all the side stuff if you want, little bit of story, next open area, little bit of story, next open area. Because I'm on the third open area, which I think is the same one you're on. And I'm kind of waiting for the point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired of doing this. But I still haven't gotten there with like the side stuff. Like I'm still having
Yeah.
fun with all of it.
They introduce
Yeah.
enough. It like didn't have Final Fantasy 16's problem where they just like threw side quests at you at random
Yeah.
moments, but it didn't have like Final Fantasy, arguably Barry, Final Fantasy 13's problem where there was like not enough
Right.
side content and it was more
Right.
linear. Like, you know what I mean? All arguable,
I mean, you
Barry.
have your,
Not dissing
like
13.
every area has its standard side things, like go scan the life stones, go battle certain things and do these 3 things in the battle, go search this area with your chocobo. Am I missing other ones? There's always like a set.
There's like the scanning of radars, or like the
Yep,
scan
the
the like,
towers.
yeah, the
Yep.
towers.
And
Yeah,
then specific
Yeah,
right.
combat
that's yeah.
moments
Like that
with
never
special themes.
changes, but like the other side stuff they throw in there, I have so much fun with that I don't mind, because there's this big like gap in time between getting to the next open world where they'll show up again. Because like if you were to just run through, I guess it would get old. But it's like, all right, I cleared out this area. Now I'm going to go here, which is the story. But in that story, they're going to hit me with like 5 to 6 other side missions that are just always completely different. And I'm going to have a ton of fun. And then I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the main story. And then it's going to put me into the next open world. And I'm ready to go find all the towers again. It's a nice loop. Like, I was reading people, I was like, I wonder how long like people are getting into this. And people are like, yeah, I'm at like 60 hours and I'm on like the 4th open world area. It's just wild. Like, I think I'm
Yeah.
going to probably end up cracking 100 hours on this thing.
I
Unfortunately,
hope I do.
there's too many other games, but I'm having fun. I think the story's done well.
The story is done
Yeah.
well. They're really nailing a lot of the ambiances of certain parts too. And gotta hand it to Queen's Blood, man. Come
I
on.
love Queen's
Ooh,
Blood.
I could play that game for hours.
Man, give me all that.
I'll go into my next game just
Uh,
because it's a demo, so it's not an
Yeah.
actual game.
yeah, go ahead.
Princess Peach Showtime
What
gives
is
us
it?
gives us a little bit. So for the most part, it seems like it picks up like right at the beginning of the game. Princess Peach, you're going to go see like some theater show at a neighboring kingdom. Turns out the evil sorcerer Grape. Yeah, you heard me right. The evil sorcerer's name is also a fruit, Grape.
Great. Okay.
Grape. Um,
Great.
and she ends up
It's
like
great.
kind of taking control of all the stage plays. So there is this always stage play presence where like you're Princess Peach and you go into the first area and there's always a spotlight on you. So like you can literally see a spotlight shining down on Peach and following her everywhere she goes. Now the main thing is you use the you're meant to free the theats is what they're called. It's a really
Okay.
strange word. I'll be the first to admit it. They're pretty much these yellow like they look like bumblebees, but instead of a large abdomen, it's like a big yellow nose that
Okay.
that lights up. So throughout the level, you do different things. So, and each level has like a different portion of what Peach can do, and you can replay it as well to get like more, I guess, what you would call the equivalent of like stars, like in Super Mario Sunshine or Odyssey, where you return to a world to do more stars or acts is also what they call them here. So in the demo, what's available to you is you can play as like the sword fighter. So Peach gets a sword, and then you end up just kind of playing like a regular combat game where you're slicing, dicing uh, enemies. There's like a dodge mechanic as well, which is very forgiving, but it is a kid's game, so I guess I should expect it. Um, and then you do that one. The other portion that's open is the bakery thing. So you end up cooking, and it's like these tiny like little mini games where Peach is a baker, and you work to get your, make cookies and stuff like that. And now each little mini game is like a different. In this particular one, it's not like just matching. One of them is like mashing B to like make cookies, and it's fairly simple to do. The next one is almost like a Mario Party mini game where you're putting, strawberries and icing on certain cakes depending as they go through a conveyor belt. So it's meant to, make you think and do two things at once. I'm enjoying it. I am excited for this game. Uh, I didn't expect. I thought you would just kind of go through a show and not be expected to come back to it, but there are acts to all these shows. So you will go back to being a sword fighter at some point for the next act. You will go back to being a pastry chef somewhere along the next act, and kung fu fighter is one of the other ones that you can do. So it's meant to be like a different game depending in the act you go into.
Okay.
It's an interesting game, and I like the idea,
Yeah.
and I kind of like the idea that they're doing something with Peach. Like they never really did anything with her. She kind of got like a bigger following in the Super Mario Brothers movie, where she was more of like a lead role.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the perfect time for it to come
Yeah.
out, actually, when you consider
Let me
that.
ask you this, Barry.
Yeah.
Because I think this is an important question that a lot of people would ask. This comes out next week, right? Or 2 weeks?
I think at the end of
22nd.
Yeah.
22nd. Okay. So that's 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Here's a question. Not everybody can buy every game, right? Us ourselves included, because games are expensive. That week is Alone in the Dark, Rise of the Ronin, Princess Peach Showtime, and Dragon's Dogma 2. They all come out that week. So if you were to say, like, is this a game, if you were to pick two, you would pick this as one of them?
Yep.
Or would you pick one of these other games?
Yep, I would.
Okay. Because that's hard. I'm trying to figure out, because like obviously everybody knows I use GameFly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at it as like there's 4 games coming out. Do I like, are any of these like you should buy this? Like for me, Dragon's Dogma is a wait, right? Like I don't have time for another RPG. Rise of the Ronin is kind of up in the air for us. And Alone in the Dark, I know Craig and I are excited for, but also that has the potential to not be good.
I also think that week as well is the South Park Snow Day game.
Yes,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
because
that's only like $30.
Yeah, if I had to pick two, those are the two that I'm going for this month, or
South
or
Park and Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So those would be the two. Like Alone in the Dark is not a game for me I've ever played, and I know it's a horror game, so maybe it's not for me. I don't really know. But Dragon's Dogma, again, I also never played the first. I'm interested, but not enough to say otherwise.
Right.
But yeah, no, Princess Peach is. I think it's going to be a good game. I did run into some performance issues even in the demo, so keep that in mind. It's another. The moment you kind of see, like at one point she like moved to like 3 frames a second, like it was pretty bad. The frame drop. And it's one of those things where I just saw that and I'm like, yeah, why don't we have a Switch 2? Like, this shouldn't be happening this late into the cycle.
Especially a first-party game.
Yeah. Which is strange. They're hiding the developer, it seems like. They're
really?
Nintendo is all, like, they've literally come out and said, oh, you'll have to beat Princess Peach to find out who developed this game. Because they haven't said anything.
Really?
No developer's name has been attached to it. There's some people doing like some background noise to be like, oh, like this game had a code name of this. This is what a developer similar does the code name this way. So you can read into it in year one. I'm not one to assume anything, but yeah, no, it's strange.
Okay, Yeah, I'm interested to check it out. I'm just trying to like prioritize, and also Final Fantasy is still looming. Like I'm hoping I have Final Fantasy finished by the time these bazillion games come out.
Mm.
But
It's not
realistically,
happening,
it's
but I
probably
hope
not
so
going to
too.
happen, right?
It's not.
Because
But
go
like
ahead.
here's the kicker. You and I stopped Infinite
Yes,
Wealth
to play Final
to do Final
Fantasy. Yep.
Fantasy. So like how many 75% finished games are we gonna have in
A
the
lot.
I'm
first
being
quarter?
honest with you.
Like
I'm feeling like I might not end up going back to Infinite Wealth.
I had this conversation with
Yeah,
myself earlier this week, Craig, and I told myself I
yep,
would, but I can't promise anything. I
exactly.
don't know.
Because in my mind, I'm
Once
like,
Stellar Blade comes
once
out,
I once I finish Final Fantasy, am I going to be like, do I want to go back to another 100-hour RPG, or like, do I want to do like a Rise of Ronin, which is more like straightforward, or like an Alone in the Dark, which is a
Yeah.
maybe a 10 to 15 hour experience.
that's true.
Yeah, we'll see. Or Princess Peach, maybe.
Princess Peach.
Was that all you played, Barry?
Yep.
Those two? Okay. Tekken 8. I did squeeze in some Tekken 8. Um, I like the idea of the game and everything that's in there. It has a story mode. It has a really fun arcade mode where you like create your avatar and you are playing in arcades with your friends, and then as you level up, you go to bigger arcades, and you get like different clothing options for your avatar, which is really cool. But the game itself feels I don't know, maybe because I haven't played Tekken in a while, it feels a little off. It just like
Okay.
something's like too slow for me, maybe too heavy. I know Tekken's like a heavy fighting game, like it always has been, but something about it is like not quite clicking for me. I like that they have a mode where they simplify it, where if you don't want to learn all the combos, like if you just continuously hit like the air button, you'll do an air combo, or if you hit like the low button, it'll just do low combos, so you can get into it faster and be successful. And it
Mhm.
looks beautiful. And there's so many different ways to play the game that I think if you're into Tekken, you'll like it. But something about it is just not clicking with me right now, and I'm a little sad because I was like ready to jump back into a Tekken fighting game for sure. But maybe wait at this point, grab it when it's cheap.
I think that's what
Yeah.
I'm gonna do.
I think if it's like $30, I think that's a good deal for
Game's
sure.
pretty. Really pretty.
Super pretty.
Yeah.
WWE, that came out this week too. So obviously I had that pre-ordered. More of what you've come to expect from those games. I play them every year. So like I see the gradual changes. I think the character models are the best they've ever been. Like realistically, The Rock, when he does the eyebrow, is like real life. Like it's the closest. I'm like, dang, they nailed some of the like lesser known wrestlers. You can tell they don't put as much time into, and you're like, they just kind of look like somebody made the wrestler and create a wrestler. Whereas the other ones are like, oh, they're definitely motion captured. Um, the showcase mode that they've always had is actually a celebration of 40 years of WrestleMania. So you get to go back and play like some of the biggest matches of WrestleMania. I always love showcase mode because they put in the real video seamlessly with the game and like go back and forth, which I think is cool. But overall, I think it's still headed in the right direction. It's a slight step up from last year. So I think they've put in the bad years behind them. I still think they're doing more than they do for NBA, which is good.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
still seem to care more about WWE than they do 2K, NBA 2K. So if I'm going to give my money to one of the two, I'm probably going to give it to WWE. There's just something about like, I love NBA and I love playing through a season with my creative player, but man, there's something about just taking the 3 WWE shows and just like, I want this person to be champion, and just like living out your fantasy is like the most fun
Yeah.
to me. I could spend like hours and hours doing that. So I'm trying to like sprinkle it in Final Fantasy time and WWE time. But it's a solid game. Well worth the money for sure.
Okay. I'll quickly run through Road Company and Foam Stars because I honestly spent 3 hours, maybe 2 hours in Road Company, and Foam Stars not even an hour. Speaking directly to Barry for Foam Stars, my wife and I wanted to like this game, and we know that you came in with a lot of like good feedback about it, or at least that you were having fun. You had some things that you did point out about what it could be
Yeah.
doing better. We didn't understand it. We were trying to actually, by the end we did, but we were a little bit frustrated. We had a couple of matches with people who were clearly like foam stars, which deterred us from the game. But I think, and my wife said something after we were done that I kind of actually agreed with. This game actually makes us want to play Splatoon because we kind of wanted more of a Splatoon experience. Because like Foam Stars, it has that. You could definitely tell that Sony was trying to get a Splatoon PlayStation version, but it has more of a combat aspect that you have to focus on. So I think what we were doing is we were focusing more on trying to utilize the suds from our guns for traversal while people were rocking us. That's how we approached the game. And like for anybody at home, that's essentially like a good like way to describe it is really that there's like more of a combat focus. You have ultimates and such like that. Not that you don't in Splatoon, but there's less about trying to make sure that the ground is covered with a specific color of your suds or your paint, but there's a lot more like action kind of thing, and we weren't utilizing our ults right. So our family says no, so but I can understand why the people would say yes. Rogue Company, I don't know how I missed this game. This game's pretty
Yeah,
fun.
it is.
Yeah, it's a good game.
I don't know how. Number one, it's free to play multiplayer. And one of the things that I really like about it is it's a hodgepodge of different games that you like. You see Fortnite's influence. You see Overwatch's influence. There's a bunch of characters you could pick at the beginning of the game. They go kind of like a spy themed, and they just kind of chuck you in. You do a significantly shorter entrance sequence, but looks like Fortnite into the game zone that you're in. And then it's just chaos, which is actually pretty fun. One of the things that I like is each team, when you're going down and as you're killing each other, you have a specific amount of player respawns that the team shares. So it makes it a little bit different as you're thinking, should I run and gun? Like if you're one of those players that just does not care about stealth or being tactical and you like to just run and die, you do cost your team by doing that. So you have to think a little bit more about like, did my death, like, did I do something? Did I like make the team better kind of thing? But it's really fun. If you can grab 4 people, you have a team right there. And I don't know. I like some of the characters that you can get. The only complaint that I have is it looks like it's very hard to progress with earning things unless you spend some money. So if you're not patient and you're barrier myself, I won't throw you into this barrier. If you're myself, you'll just like spend money one night just to try to get a skin or two or like a new player or two. But they do have enough players in the entry portion of the game to like it. They got and this is where I'm thinking Apex. They have a healer and
Yeah.
all that too. Apex and Overwatch. So it's a good game. I think I'm gonna be playing more of it just in like downtime. My wife really loved it too, so that's definitely a play with your significant other, play with friends kind of thing. So I liked it.
Yeah, like Rogue Company, I do agree. Like it's a fun game, but yeah, like that's what keeps me out of it is the whole like it's a decent amount of money to get really started in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like very
Yeah,
noticeably. Like it's like, are you kidding me?
movies.
Let's do it. Run down that list, Barry.
Yeah, get that list out the way, Bear.
All right.
Here we go.
Maestro.
Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back, Pokemon 2000, The Power of One, Pokemon the Third Movie, Spell of the Unknown, Pokemon Forever, Pokemon Destiny, Deoxys, Pokemon Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea, Dune 2.
Hey yo.
That's 8.
7. 8 movies.
That's 8. Hey, you read them so fast that I
Whole
my
lot of
fingers
Pokemon
couldn't-
going on here. Okay. I watched Poor Things, Damsel, and Ricky Stanicky. Got 3 this week.
All right. All I have is a TV show that my wife got me into, The Traders. Season 2 is out right now. And I will talk about that.
Let me get Pokemon out of the way. As people know, I will be creating a list of the definitive Pokemon movie list that people will come to. I got 7 done in the first week out of 24. Pretty good, if you ask
That's
me.
good.
So I'm going to group all these movies. I'm really not going to review them as that is going to be saved for the list. A couple things. One, Pokemon really respects your time, man. No, only one of these movies was over an hour and a half long.
Yep.
You want to know why the guy's bad? It's either because he looks bad, he's a collector. That's a thing. Like, a collector is bad people, apparently. The other one is childhood trauma. The other one's deforestation. So it's weird. It's weird that Pokemon's just like, yeah, like, these people are bad, and it takes you 5 seconds to figure it out. You know, there's no backstory. Like, if I had to compare it to Dune, Dune doesn't take an hour to explain to me who's the bad guy. Pokemon, it's within the first 5 minutes. I know who's bad. I know the bad person right out of the gate in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Oh my god!
I will say some of these movies are a slog. They absolutely. I didn't realize this, but they came out with a Pokemon movie every year until 2020. So there was a Pokemon movie every year. As most people will see, I am trying to watch them in order, but one of them, Miramax, owns some of these movies, and they do not exist anymore. So it is sort of hard to watch some of these movies. I now have them all coming in physical form. So another reason physical media wins the day again.
Love the dedication.
To be fair, it's Pokemon. Like, if at one point when my kid needs college tuition money, these movies will pay for his tuition.
You think so?
Like I said, Pokemon movies, like, they really aren't making them like they used to anymore, especially like physical copies right now. Now that you can only buy them at Walmart.
Yep.
But yeah, like, Pokemon movies, they don't waste your time. You have to probably be a pretty big Pokemon fan to get into some of these. Some of them, like, I'm watching, like, I'm doing something on my phone or something like that toward the latter half of some of these movies. Some of them are decently good. So I will continue to get into the rankings as I continue to watch these movies. But know that I am serious. I watched 7 of them in a week.
What's your top one now? Right now.
Top
your favorite?
Top 1 is probably Pokemon 2000.
Yeah.
Now,
good call.
Yeah.
So now here's a little wrinkle I'm gonna add to it. Each of these Pokemon movies have an opening to them, like with the theme song. Pokemon, the third movie, has the best opening in my eyes so far.
Okay.
You know, it's just like with the theme song and stuff. I just think it's hype. It's fun. It's it's Pokemon. So keep that in mind.
Craig, next week you should do trivia specifically with Barry on the theme songs for Pokemon. Just like play them on your
Which
phone.
movie did this come from?
Well, some of them have the same one because, like, you don't have don't have a new theme song coming out every year because sometimes the anime is still in their regular ones. Out of 7 movies, Tracy, if you guys remember Tracy, he's only in one of them. So it's kind of amazing to me. Like, Tracy was like a big part of my childhood, and then I realized, oh wait, like, Brock came back pretty quickly.
Good old Brock.
Yeah. Also, like, these Pokemon movies, Ash just has women hitting on him all the time.
Yes, he does.
In 2000, there's the one, like, in 2000 has the one girl, I can't remember her name already. In Pokemon, the first movie, they mentioned about how Misty is somewhat dating him. In the third, they mentioned that as well. A Pokemon wants to get with, kisses Ash at the end of the movie, and because
such an Ash kisser.
Yeah, because it's a shapeshifter, so it's a Pokemon in the form of a human. It's weird, some of this stuff.
What an Ash kisser! That's hard to say.
Wait a second.
Ash kisser.
Uh-oh.
I watched 8. I forgot one. I watched 9 movies this week. Sorry, I gotta update the list. I knew I was missing something here. But yeah, I'll leave that just because I've talked enough about Pokemon, and I'll talk more about it once I get to the definitive list. You guys just want me to roll right into Dune 2?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you have a question, Craig, about my Pokemon?
No,
Okay,
I did not.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
Oh my god.
Dune 2 picks right up after the first one. This is a very much a more dewy movie. Dune 1 kind
less
of sets...
talky, more dewy.
Yes. Uh, this this movie sets the first one kind of set up everything to set like is a bit more of action going on. So man, I Timothy Chalamet's character, Paul, yeah, Paul Atreides. Man, I almost forgot his name because all they ever call him is Lisan Al Gaib in the movie like 7,000 times. But he like is a bigger role in this movie. He's not just having things done to him; he's doing the thing. Um, I have to say, like there's all this action with it. Austin Butler's character, he seems to be a big part of the promo. In the end, he feels like a
Okay.
throwaway. If and I don't think it's spoilers. Like I'm not gonna say what happens to him because this kind of follows the books. Like it's gonna just continue doing its thing. Uh, but what I have to say is like there is one like at the end of the movie there is a war scene that felt very similar to like Lord of the Rings for me, which is like the big set pieces there.
Mm.
They aren't as big as Lord of the Rings, but it was the closest movie I've watched in years that got me anywhere close to feeling like the huge war set pieces that they have. Uh, Me personally, like you get to see a lot more of the Fremen culture, which I enjoyed. Like the reason I liked, for example, one of my favorite animated series of last year was Scavenger's Reign because I didn't know what was going on, and you're kind of learning what's going on with it. And same here. That's what I like about Dune 2 is because the Fremen portion of it is so foreign to me. You get to see what that's like. Um, Movie's shot brilliantly. It is there's a lot of sand. It's definitely in the sand movie. Uh,
No
I hate
kidding.
sand,
uh,
as
but
Anakin
but
Skywalker would say.
yeah, Zendaya like there's all of these big name actors and actresses. So like Zendaya is a big part of this movie as well. But like for example, Florence Pugh is a very small portion of this movie, even though like she's also
Mhm.
in a lot of the promotional. But I feel like it's probably because it's setting like this movie will also set up for the third. There's also a little bit of that going
Yeah.
on. Is this movie's a lot more dewy, but also has the responsibility of setting up for the next one. Because you have big characters, Florence Pugh. There's Leia Sadu as well in this one, or Leah Sadu. So like just great acting all around. I don't think anybody does a bad job of acting in this movie. So like Dune 2
Okay.
deserves all the praise it's getting. I know a lot of people like are kind of hesitant because Dune 2 was Dune 1 was slower. There is a lot more of a payoff watching 1 and then going straight to 2, because of that payoff there. But I also am a big believer, and I'll mention this too. Like, there's got to be a bathroom like break in some of these movies. Like 5 second bathroom break. People get up, stretch your legs, because like even my dad mentioned it to me as well. Like we're getting to the climactic parts, and he's like, "It keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going," because he
Yeah.
doesn't want to leave you in a bad ending. But like I just don't see why we can't like movie theaters should just be able to press the pause button and be like,
Yeah.
hey, 5 minute break, go to the bathroom, go stretch your legs.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of like respect your time thing. There was with Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
back in the day. I
Yeah,
remember there
that's
was an
right.
intermission.
For was it all three movies or like Return
All
of the
three.
King? It was for all
Mm-hmm.
three. I see. I don't remember that.
Really?
I saw them with my
Yeah.
dad. Yeah, as a kid, but I don't remember that. Maybe I'm just. I mean, that was also what 20 years ago.
There's different movies, I think, because like there's 3 hour movies where I've watched in theaters and been like, that felt like an hour and a half. But some movies do, like it's just like, okay, all right, come on. Like I'm enjoying it, but like I really need to go to the bathroom, and now the last 45 minutes this movie is ruined because all I can think about is how much I have to go to the bathroom. It's not a good feeling. I think I still haven't finished the first Dune, so I should probably do that first, right?
Yeah,
I would need to watch the
I'd
first one
say
too.
you could probably like not watch the first hour and a half and just get to
Yeah.
and like start there and then watch from there. And I think
That's my problem.
I
Like
think you really wouldn't miss anything.
I've had 3 separate sit down occasions of trying to watch Dune, and I think I'm like an hour in.
Yeah, it's
So
because it's
all
slow.
3 times I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. But everybody's saying how good this one is, so I do want to see it.
Okay.
Okay. Poor Things. just won a bunch of awards. This movie's weird.
That's
I
what that's
I'm very interested in your take, Craig, because like my wife and I really want to watch this one.
Okay. First thing that you have to get over is the way he films. Right? Like, get that out of the way. I was watching this movie. I stopped. I started watching again at one point, and my wife was watching, and she's like, I can't watch this because of the way he films. It's so weird. Like, he'll do these random shots with like fisheye lenses on the camera for no reason, just because he wants to. The whole thing just makes you feel weird, which I guess is what he's going for. I like the idea of the movie. It's basically Frankenstein, right? Um, she committed suicide. William Dafoe is a doctor, pretty much a Dr. Frankenstein, needs a cadaver, sees her jumping off a bridge, rescues her body, takes her body, finds out that she's pregnant. So he takes the brain from the baby and puts it in her body. Yeah. So that's where we get to the point of like, all right, he brings her back to life, but she has the brain of a child. So she has to relearn everything. So as you go along throughout the movie, she starts from not being able to talk to being able to talk. She can't walk, all that kind of stuff. But like, just know that if you watch this movie with any members of your family, you'll be very uncomfortable. This movie is very sexual, if you will. There's a lot of nakedness going on. There's a whole lot of like her finding out different areas of herself and finding out that she can't do that in public. That kind of stuff is going on in this movie. It's just a very weird movie. I talked to somebody else and they're like, oh my God, I loved it. It was like the greatest thing. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. It's a weird experience. I would say, like, if you're interested, I guess check it out. But if that like brief description is just like, that sounds terrible, then don't watch it, because it's a long movie. I think it overstays its welcome. Even the people that I've like, the person I talked to who loved it, we had the same conclusion. You get to this point and you're like, okay. And then it goes into another chapter for like another 30 minutes. And you're like, this was not needed at all. So like the last half hour, you're just like, oh my God. But I think, yeah, Craig, check it out. It's already streaming.
Yeah.
It's on Hulu. You can watch it right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. We were waiting for it's like just like
Yeah,
free.
it's with a subscription.
Yeah. It's on
Oh,
it's
heck
on
yeah.
Hulu
We
right
got one of
now.
them.
It's gonna go on Disney Plus like this week or next week, I think.
Oh, heck yeah,
But yeah,
man.
it's on there. You can go watch it, go check it out, see what you
Sick.
think.
Just
Damsel.
real quick here.
Yeah.
When you mean he, the director's name is Yorgos Lanthimos, or Yorgos Lanthimos. I just wanted to clear that up, just because
he does weird movies.
Yeah.
He always has.
Some people don't know who he is, so that's why I added his
He
name.
has a quite the following of people who enjoy his movies. I'm not one of them, but I was like, man, this movie's getting so much like love. I gotta watch it, right? I didn't hate my time with it. Put it that way. Damsel on Netflix with Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown. I always have to say that every time. I will never not say it. First question that I posed to, I actually asked my wife this: is there something in her contract where she has to make movies that have to do with like fantasy, Game of Thrones style, or like old time? Because that's all she does. She did Enola Holmes, and now she's doing Damsel. So there's another one out there she did that was like medieval. Anyway, this movie's actually not that bad. It has to do with like, she is given to a prince to be married. Some things happen, and I don't know if it's a spoiler for like the main plot of the movie. But there's some action in there. It has to do with a dragon, which is kind of cool. The dragon looks really cool. It's done very well, CGI. It's not bad. It's like an hour and a half. It gets to the point. And I did not hate it. So it's on Netflix. It's not a bad watch for like a Saturday. If I would have saw it in theaters and paid money, I probably would have been a little upset, a little pissed. But as a one-time watch, sure, why not? And then Ricky Stanicky on Amazon Prime with our boy John Cena. This one's a mixed one. I enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. It has to do with three guys when they were kids make up a fake name, Ricky Stanicky, and they blame everything bad they do on it. So anytime anything bad happens, like, it wasn't us, it was Ricky Stanicky. And they just continuously lie about it into their adulthood. Zac Efron's like the main character. And it gets to the point where like their wives are like, hey, we want to meet him. So John Cena gets hired to portray Ricky Stanicky.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's
I
great.
enjoy that John Cena is becoming a good comedic actor. Like, that man
Yeah.
can get some laughs. You know what I mean? So I also enjoyed my time with this. Another one that I probably wouldn't have seen in theaters, so I'm glad it just went right to Amazon Prime and you can watch it. Also doesn't overstay its welcome. I'm really liking the return of hour-and-a-half movies, by the way. Like, thank you for not doing 3-hour movies all the time anymore. Every once in a while is fine. But yeah, not a bad watch either. So I would say Damsel, Ricky Stanicky, go check them out. If you really are interested in Poor Things, all three of those are streaming right now.
Fantastic. We're definitely gonna watch Poor Things. But for me, it's the Traders. Yeah, heard about this. Yeah, heard about this show through friends. There's like a bunch of our friends like from back in the day who said that they really like it. My wife is usually the reality starter of
Do you
something
watch
new.
The
And she's like, "Oh, let's
Challenge?
watch." No.
Okay, good.
But she watched the season 1, the majority of it. But like when she started season 2, there's a lot more reality stars in this particular one that are more famous. For example, like Scottie Pippen's I guess not now
Yep.
wife. I don't know if they're still married, are they?
No, they're divorced.
Okay. There's a couple of famous heads from Survivor that we really like as well. But essentially it's hosted by Alan Cummings and it's in like a Scottish like mansion that I'm pretty sure he owns. He keeps saying that he owns it in the show for like the grandeur aspect, but it's a bunch of people that are gathered in this particular mansion and they kind of play. It's kind of like a who done it kind of thing. 3 traders are selected at the beginning of the season, and it falls on the faithfuls, all the other people who are not traders, to figure out who those 3 people are. Like a lot of other reality shows, there's different type of like contests, things like that. There's a cash prize at the end that they're trying to win, and it either goes to the faithfuls if they can snuff out the 3 traders, or it goes to the traders if they can survive without people finding out who they actually are. And if you need that reality itch of like people who are conniving behind the scenes and such like that, this is definitely the show that you're going to want to watch. Um, every week there's an opportunity for the traders to kill someone. And then there's also an opportunity for somebody to be banished as well. So if the faithfuls have gathered enough evidence or have figured out that, hey, this person's acting weird or something like that, they can end up trying to banish a traitor. And on the other end, too, to like really get the faithfuls like riled up, the traitors can kill a person. And that's what it's kind of doing. It's kind of like this killing off a person slash banish back and forth that
It's Among
happens,
Us.
but it's Among Us. It's
Yep.
Among Us with people in
Yep.
Scotland at a really lavish mansion, which is pretty awesome. So it's very addicting, especially the second season. They have like a bunch of reality stars. They have some people from Big Brother as well. If you guys know Survivor, Poverty from Survivor's in it. And she's like a household name with some of the stuff that she's done over the years because she's very good at playing the game. But it's addicting. It really is addicting. My wife's really into it. I'm like 95% paying attention. I'll find myself in certain parts getting on my phone, but it's really cool. And you can see a lot of like the influences of other reality shows kind of baked in there too. So definitely something to watch. And it's on Netflix.
Yep.
Sorry,
Peacock.
it's on
Yep.
Peacock. Sorry. Thank you.
Have you guys never watched The Challenge?
That one's not familiar to me.
Okay. If you haven't watched The Challenge, I would highly recommend. There's like 30 or 40 seasons of that thing. There's 3 people on that, the traders that are from The Challenge: CT, Johnny Bananas, and Trishelle.
Got it.
Those are like, if you want like my ultimate reality show, it's The Challenge. I will watch The Challenge any day of the week at any time because go ahead.
I was gonna say we both like CT.
CT is he's my favorite.
Yeah,
The
CT
challenge is just like put all these people in a house and then they have to do daily challenges. And then the people who perform the worst go into whatever they call it, like the gauntlet or the pit or whatever, and they literally will like do like different physical events against each other, and the loser goes home. And then they
Got
have a
it.
final challenge. Man, the challenge is incredible. Like if you want to lose months of your life watching all those seasons, I would highly recommend it.
Okay.
All right.
But the Traders is good too.
Well, all right. Anything else anyone wants to add or anything like that? All right.
I think
Perfect.
we're good.
That's going to be the end of the podcast then. So we thank everybody for listening. If you're listening to us, please make sure to follow us, leave a review on your podcast listening platform of choice, and please make sure to share with a friend if you feel so inclined. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate all the help, comments, and likes that we've been getting on those videos. I appreciate it. And please make sure to like and subscribe and share it on social media if you feel so inclined as well. I appreciate all the support that we've always been getting. I recently got something from Facebook today. I think this is a couple years now. I think we started this up like this March area month. So
yeah, it was right before COVID.
Yeah, so it was one of those things where I think we're on an anniversary somewhere, and we're almost at
should be
podcast,
4 years, I think.
Yeah, and I think we're almost at podcast 200 as well. So keep that in mind. It's kind of insane to be close to 200. Feels like a milestone, and I continue to see growth. So I appreciate everybody for helping us. So again, please make sure to like, subscribe, share it if you feel so inclined. Leave us a review, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good week. Bye.
See you later.
See ya.
See you.